Very nice, Tom. Welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about the Super W, or spine extensions, or Supermans. There's lots of different names as there are many different variations to the exercise. For most of them, we're commonly working the posterior chain or the extensors. So we're going to go through a series of those variations with Tom. And he's going to be working the extensors of his spine, which run down the back of his body here. He's going to be working the retractors of his scapula or shoulder blades, which are very important for encouraging a nice open chest and good posture. He'll be working the backs of his shoulders. And if we bring the legs into the mix, then he'll be working his glutes and his hamstrings as well. So pretty much all the muscles on the back of his body. All right, we're going to talk about the neck first, because that's one common area where people start to lose their form. Tom's going to make sure he's always looking down at the floor. He's never looking up in front of him, okay? Because that's going to put a little bit of strain on the back of the neck. So looking down at the floor, and he's not going to let the chin poke towards the floor. He's going to keep nice support, pulling the chin in and back towards his spine. All right, once we've got the head taken care of, we're going to talk about the rest of the body. So right now Tom's holding an isometric spine extension position. He's lifted his chest off the ground and he's just holding that position. And that is one way to do this exercise. It's not actually go up and down, but you just activate all those extensors and hold it for a period of time. Tom's going to maintain this extension at the spine, and he's going to start to move his arms up overhead and then pull it back down. So he's going from a W position in the arms up to a Y position or an I position, depending on how you want to call it. And this is a way to get some dynamic movement at the shoulder while still working the spine extensors. He can also do the exercise dynamically, where he's going to lift the chest up off the floor and then back down to the floor. And this way he can make the exercise repetition based, like he'll do 10 repetitions, 15 repetitions, instead of holding for a period of time. The position of his arms will determine the challenge of the exercise. So right now Tom's been mostly in the W position, which is sort of a moderate intensity. If this is a little too intense, he can bring his arms down to the side to what we call a ski jumper. And this will be a little bit easier for him to hold than the W, and he can still do the dynamic or isometric variations. If we go back to the W position, that's a little bit tougher. If we bring the arms out to a T, so he just extends the elbows, that's going to be a little bit more challenging as he has a longer lever. And if he goes back to that top position where he has his arms overhead, this will be the hardest position to maintain. That's the Y position, or if you have the mobility, straight up for an I. In all those variations, he maintained a neutral spine or slightly extended spine the whole time. If he wants to get the glutes or the lower body muscles involved, he can do any of those upper body variations and start raising the legs off the ground. This will activate his glutes with some assistance from the hamstrings as well. And that is our Superman or Super W with a few variations.